Or you even spit out yours. All right, you got a cue, NoGi. Here, Phil, come on over here since you're an old bigs. Anybody got a cue? Drew, that's just not gonna work. Okay, next.
So you go to turtle the die with the gi, the NoGi turtle.
Yes.
Similar position from the top.
Okay, well, reasonable question. So, in Jiu-Jitsu, a turtle tends to be a safe place, except you just don't have any crayons and coloring sticks and all that kind of stuff. But it's not a very safe place because turtles, it's like an on-ramp or an off-ramp to a freeway or an interchange. You never want to stop there because there is a possibility you're going to get hit by that one trucker that's on his Instagram account looking at reels, and he doesn't see you, and it's goodbye. So having said that, so let's do this. Take the gi off. So turtle, okay. I'll give you a couple options. All right. So actually the first thing with a turtle, no matter what, gi or no gi, you have to control. The thing with no gi is that there's a couple ways to control it, and obviously you're not going to have the luxury of the gi, and everything tends to be slippery. So the one thing that's exposed is the neck, okay? So from here, you think to yourself, well, I don't have the gi, I don't have, lapel chokes and all that. But what you fundamentally have is Darces, guillotines, and like an Anaconda, okay? Which is just a reverse Darce. So one thing you gotta make sure is you're controlling the sprawl, okay? And you're controlling and you're constantly moving, okay? Because he should not be able to lift his head, okay? My hands are in a seatbelt formation, and I'm constantly moving him, so he's always focused on keeping balance and not falling over. I can't grab pants, I can't grab a gi, I can't grab much. But what I can do is that, look at this right here, okay? I can begin, since my hands are locked, I can begin to get a Japanese necktie, which is right here. Now my right arm, okay, is by his neck, and my left hand is palm up, and my left elbow is in. This is a great way to crank the head down and to shoot Darce. This is very, very effective and vital for you to know whether gi or no gi, okay? From here, sprawl, drive forward, squeeze, or even preferably, walk around and hook a half guard and fall to your left shoulder, the one of the arm that's actually locked in, okay? So you're here. So Japanese necktie, okay, is with your wrist is on the neck, and what I'm doing is I'm pushing his head down and I'm driving him diagonally over the shoulder, okay? It's very difficult for him to not roll because there's a lot of pressure on the head, and you can submit guys with a Japanese necktie. So what I'm doing here is I have a front headlock right here, okay? And if you notice my hands, it's a seatbelt grip, but my elbows are in, so I could pull this here. Remember, guillotines are also available here too, okay? If you catch him sleeping, okay, you can take the right hand out, and you can now come in for a guillotine, just a 10-finger guillotine like this, and it goes right into the trachea. That's not a lot of fun. Right, Philip?
Yep.
Okay. So, but going back to the Japanese necktie, you're here, moving around, and your hands just shift here. And my shoulder drops into his armpit as my elbows are tight here. If he wants to posture up, it's very difficult here, okay? Because my objective is to pull with my right hand, okay? And my left elbow goes, so that and my right shoulder pushes him diagonally to force him to roll. At some point, I know he's gonna roll, and then I'm gonna let go of the Japanese necktie, and I'm gonna shoot the Darce. So as I go here, and I go here, and then get to this side here, this hand has to shoot all the way up his back because it lifts the bottom hand. Roll him, hook, or even mount. That's horrible. This is also horrible. I learned this from Joe Rogan. Because here you hook the leg and then you fall to the left side shoulder and it really pulls that arm up. So when you do it a little bit more viciously, don't. But when you do, it's very cranky, okay? The other thing you have is, go this way. So this is the Darce, but then I can come here also and cup his tricep right here, okay? So here, as I push this through, my left hand reaches, and I'm gonna shoot my right hand. This is the Anaconda. And that hole right there, in front of his knee, I'm gonna dive my head in, as I'm on a bridge, and lift him up and roll him over my body. So here, and here I'm just gonna walk the hip in, and it pushes his head over my arm this way, but this is a lot. As I hip in, so I'll loosen it. You wanna hip, and the head cranks over the arm. So you have here Darce, Anaconda, Guillotine. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's try the Japanese necktie to the Darce. Head diving. Right here. Oh, there's also this. Peruvian neck. Look familiar? But these, the problem is that unless you just crank the heck out of it right here, okay, it's fairly easy for him to push the, pull that head out, okay, and I lose the position. That's why the lapel is so effective, because this leg and the lapel keep it locked in. So, but it works, but you gotta crank it like right away, okay? And you gotta post their head on the mat so you can't fall to the right. So on a, what do you call it, Peruvian necktie, you gotta like step over and pin their head to the mat and crank it toward the like, okay, before they push, it's, you know, it's done. So they're pushing down and not off. So here, seatbelt grip, and you always wanna have this curvature in their throat, neck, pulling elbows in, and then what I'm gonna come to this side, my right hand comes here, my left hand goes palm up on the back of his neck, and I get a gable grip. No thumbs here. I'm pulling him in, and my shoulder's driving into him as my elbow drives down, and I'm gonna pull with the right hand, his hand down, and it's gonna drive his head down. He's gonna roll up here, and I stay with him as my right hand shoots. My right ear is on his lap, and my left hand is the violin, and my right hand goes for my tricep. Not my bicep, but my tricep, because you want to be here, and it's, and this comes all the way up. You can finish from this side here. For you NoGi aficionado professionals, I'm just gonna sit and just hook his leg here and slowly fall to my left side. Because that's just really super tight. The defense for Darce is to go to your stomach and to shoot your hand between your legs and posture up to widen that head-arm triangle. Does that make sense, guys? Okay, so remember, this way. Japanese necktie. There's one, palm up, and you need to get a good grip. I'm literally gripping my thumb kind of knuckle here, and my elbows are tight, okay? You'll ask your partner, can you lift your head up?
No.
And they shouldn't be able to. If you're here, can you lift your head up?
Yes.
Okay. If you're here, lift your head up. Okay, you don't want to do that either. Okay, because you're here, because this is a very good control. Because some guys can just control it so good, you can just crank the head and they can't roll, and it's a heck of a neck crank, okay? But lift your head up a little bit. Okay. So here, my shoulder's in his armpit. I'm gonna pull him in, and this hand, this right hand, pulls down. Rotate a little bit to your right, to your right, to your right, right. Yes, good. Here, and as I drive with the shoulder, I keep my shoulder on him so that here my left hand pushes his head towards his belly. As my right hand shoots, clamps, and then my left hand does the violin. So my right hand can reach for my tricep as the left hand walks all the way up, cups right here, and I'm gonna just walk my feet to the right, to the right, to the right, just step over and hook and pinch. And slowly here, I'll fall to the left. The more left I fall, the tighter it's gonna get. Because it's lifting this hand into his neck, and I'm not even flexing my arms here, because that's even worse, okay? So you want to be in that position. Japanese necktie. Ready? 1, 2, 3.